Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome back to Crusader Kings 2 episode 6 in Leicester to Britannia. We are going to try and form the empire, but we need the kingdom first, and we have managed to take over another one of the provinces, or another one of the counties down here in... I think it's Weiss. I've been trying to look up exactly how it's pronounced. My Anglo-Saxon is a little rusty. It could be Hwick and it could also be Wick. I'm not sure. Yeah, like I said, Anglo-Saxon, not really my first language. We're going to speed things up a little bit. What we could do is we could go ahead and fabricate a couple of claims, or we could just wait until we own the entire duchy by creating it. A little bit short on cash at the moment, so don't really want to do that now. What do we get here? Could not help but overhearing the Sable Master and a courtier's animated discussion. I should interfere. And it doesn't really tell me what happens with it. Oh, there we go. Someone's opinion of me is changed by +15, and somebody else becomes good friends. That's fine. So, obviously, our high diplomacy is helping matters out there. Now, our Chancellor is currently in Bedford. I can't remember what he's doing. I'll go and check that in a moment. Not too sure what's going on there. So, Chancellor, what exactly are you doing? I assume that I've got you increasing my reputation with this guy, because he has my... biggest sort of share of troops, so we'll leave him there. We'll wait until we fabricate claims. Remember, when you fabricate claims, it still costs you quite a bit of gold to do it, and we don't have a huge amount of money, so we're not going to do that just now. We've switched away from Gavelkind succession to primogeniture, which now means that we have a smaller domain. We could theoretically go for medium centralization, but we don't have the appropriate level in legalism at the moment, so we can't do that. We also don't have... Yeah, the government is not tribal, which is fine, and legalism needs to be at least level 2, which it currently isn't. Though we could go ahead and do that, which means we could now change that law to medium. So we would lose a couple of... well, we'd lose 5 of our max vassalage, which is currently... I'm going to leave it for now. It would put our vassalage limit down to 16, which is pretty small. But we don't really need a bigger domain at the moment. We've got Tamworth, we've got Evesham, and we've got Leicester. We could go ahead at some point and build another barony here in Leicester, but I think that we should probably leave that for the time being. So, Wolfred Unstable's daughter is now legal age. She became the underhanded rogue. Now then, are you married? You're actually betrothed to the King of West Francia, the King of Italy, and the King of Middle Francia. And if you remember, the reason that I was setting this up was for a very specific thing. This guy is the King of West Francia, in Italy, and Middle Francia. He may well at some point become the Emperor. Now, if these two have any children, the children, of course, are going to be of the King's lineage, not of her lineage, so therefore not of my lineage. However, she does still remain my daughter. So, when my current ruler dies and I take over as my son, it will be my sister that is married to the king. Now, her children will have claims on the throne. So it is quite possible that we can press claims in her name, and we might be able to get something out of it. We'll see how it goes, but for the time being, we don't really need to do an awful lot about her. What's my Chancellor's probability of improving relations? 30. Oh, that's just dropped quite dramatically there for some reason. 21.63% yearly. Oh, it's been a success. He's actually managed to go ahead and do it just as I was speaking about it. So what are we up to now? Up to 90. Could go and try and improve some relations with this guy, or could go and try and fabricate a claim somewhere else, which might be interesting. I don't think we actually have any claims that we can currently press, and indeed we do not. We could go ahead and try and take a bite and a nibble out of a few little places. It's best to try and pick on some of the single province ones if possible, although there is of course the other potential that if we take some of the counties away from multi-count duchies, we'll be able to form some of those counties, and therefore might actually be able to get some claims a little bit more easier. So taking something like Norfolk and Suffolk could be useful. Or Essex and Middlesex. They've got quite a big army. Let's have a look at Norfolk for now. Or actually, do we want to try and take some of these places? You seem to be fighting a couple of wars. Who is your liege? Nobody that I care about. So, do you have any allies? Yes, you do. The Petty Kingdom of Dehabarth, which is this guy here, who I'm not particularly all that bothered about. So we could fabricate a claim here. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll move our Chancellor to fabricate claims. Again, it might cost us a little bit of money, but we'll see if that can work out. We're running the game on fairly high speed. We might as well. We'll just continue to try and build up some of the money that we have in the bank. What we could do for the time being, though, is I guess we could actually go ahead and create that duchy. So let's go ahead and create it. Gives us 200 prestige. We do lose a little bit of gold. That's fine. So we now have the Duchy of Weiss. And we now can press de jure claims, because we have a ducal claim on the county of Wiltshire, which is this one down here. And once it's finished auto-saving, if I press E, you can see we actually have claims. Well, we only have a claim on the county of Wiltshire, but we would literally be going to war with pretty much all of these people. Because it's one duke or one petty king that owns all of these counties. So we'd be going to war with 4 counties. Betrothed can marry. Our daughter is ready to marry, I think. Is that the king? Oh, he grew up pretty fast, didn't he? That is the king. Yep, accept the marriage. I'm not sure if that gives us any prestige. Oh, instantly he wants us to call to arms. Well, we're not going to decline. We're going to accept. The good thing about this is we can't really do an awful lot because we can't actually get over there. However, we do notice that the King of Essex is, or the Petty King of Essex is involved in this fight for some strange random reason. Not too sure why that is. If we go ahead, yep. You are fighting against Essex and Salzburg. Well, not Salzburg, I suppose. It's, is that just a county? Bavaria. So I suppose somehow Essex has got some sort of alliance with Bavaria, probably through a marriage, and therefore these guys are kind of getting involved into this. So I was hoping we could use our army to go and try and press our claims down here, but there's no reason why we can't go ahead and attack these guys. So let us go and raise all of our levies. Now we will get some down here, which is going to be problematic. I'm going to try and move them out of the way as quickly as possible and try and get all of these guys to form up in Warwick if we can. It is quite possible. Yep, he's going to come and squash the 27 stack. That's not too bad though, because it actually gave chance for the rest of my armies to merge up. We have an open council position for our court chaplain, which is fine. We don't have any particularly good chaplains. You're going to do for now. You definitely shouldn't be leading armies, and what we want you to do is go back to Rome and try and improve religious relations. Somebody did mention in a comment to one of the videos that we could use the character finder to try and get a better chancellor and invite them to court. That is definitely something that we should consider doing, but I think we'll try and deal with the issues here first. I don't use the character finder very often, and as useful as it can be, you still have the problem that you need to... People need to have a reason to want to come and join your court. They won't just come and join it for the sake of it. Going to move down to Surrey, because there shouldn't be a river crossing between Surrey and Essex, and indeed there isn't. We are 2-to-1 odds on numbers, and we're at full morale now, so we are literally just going to run in and do as much damage as we can over here. Now, they've only got 2 provinces, so providing that we can actually wipe their army out and siege their provinces out, they shouldn't be able to produce any more reinforcements. They are running back to Middlesex. The war is over, so that was good, luckily. Kent isn't technically our own land, although we do own a bishopric in there. Let's just move into Bedford. As soon as we get into Bedford, we will go ahead and disband the levies, just to try and burn off some of the levies race too long penalty. It's nearly gone, actually. So, at least that war's over. We're doing quite well on prestige now. Not as good on money as I'd like us to be. So, let's have a look at the character finder. So we can find characters, and what we could basically do, we could search the entire world if we wanted to, but let's just say we just want to search the realm, and we want somebody who has a very good diplomacy skill. So we've got this this guy here, and he is the Chancellor of Lincoln, and look at that. I mean, he has 21 diplomacy. What is our current Chancellor? Only 11. Now, what we can do is we can right-click here and invite him to court. He's not going to come, though, because he's got no reason to move, and he doesn't have that high an opinion of us. So you're not always necessarily going to get these people to come along. So what we want is we want men, because women can't be Chancellor, who is not in prison, because they can't be a Chancellor if they're in prison. Doesn't matter if they're married. We don't want them to be a ruler, and we would prefer them to be my religion, and we prefer them to be my culture. We do want them to be an adult, and then that narrows the list down. So, out of all of those potential people that there could be, to be honest, there's only one of them that is any good. Now, he wants to get married. Do I have anyone in my court that I could marry him off to? Let's have a look at my relations or my family. So, I still have a daughter. Is this daughter betrothed? No, she isn't. What about if I was to betroth her to you? It's a little bit strange because he's hella old, but it might still work. So, if I betroth you... Let's go ahead and arrange a betrothal between you, yourself, if you... No, can't press buttons correctly. Let's try this again. Or do we need to arrange a marriage? Oh, right, that's because you're my vassal. So it's between you and between my daughter, who I can't see anywhere on the list. Maybe it does have to be a betrothal then. Screwing this up royally at the moment. Arrange betrothal. Yep, between you and my daughter. There we go. Now, she would be marrying into House Lowbourne. As a relative of the king, you would gain 0 prestige from marrying into House Lowbourne and minus 200 from marrying a courtier. Not sure if he would move into my court or not. I'm not too sure how that works, so I'm not actually going to risk it. I don't mind losing the prestige, that's not the problem, but I don't think there's an awful lot to gain here. We were going to go ahead and take this, attempt to take this county. We still can, but it is now part of a larger area. But that's no problem. We need to start taking little bites out of people where we can. We could definitely still go down and press our claim on Wiltshire, so we probably should. This is our son and heir, and he has become a charismatic negotiator. He's got really, really high diplomacy. That is very nice. His martial skills are a little bit crap, but we can deal with that. Betrothed can marry, so let's go ahead and arrange that marriage. So there we go. That is done. 1 weak claim can be pressed, which is a claim against the County of Amends, which we can press on behalf of our wife. Which is where exactly? Down there. So we could go and press that claim if we wanted to. And we have an unlanded son. We need to give him something. Well, we can leave it. We do get a little bit of a penalty for him being unlanded. We can leave him unlanded for the time being because we are about to go and take another county, hopefully. So let us go ahead and do that. Let me just drop down the speed a little bit. We're going to go over here. We will... won't let us declare war. That's quite strange. Oh, it's because he himself isn't independent. There we go. What's happened here? You have a new heir. We no longer have an unlanded son. That was interesting. Died after a period of illness, age 16. So our son only just became of age and then died, which is not very good. Now, we do still have an heir, Was that a matrilineal marriage? No. But she's still our dynasty, technically. Yeah, that's going to put a spanner in the works. Let's go back and we'll change our... we'll cancel... Well, can't cancel the ambition yet. That's a real pain. What we need to do is go back into... difficult one here. We could either pick family, which would give us some more fertility and health. Our wife's currently 44. I'm going to pick the seduction trait. Or the seduction focus, because what that allows us to do, it gives us +2 intrigue, it gives us +25 fertility, gives us +10 sex appeal. We can't change it until November 1790, unfortunately. But it will give us much more chance of being able to father another child. It also allows us to take lovers and potentially end up with a child from outside of marriage. But we'll see how that goes. The Marshal told me about his ideas. I couldn't really understand what he was talking about, but he was adamant in his belief that it would improve the military. So we could adopt his ideas for 6 gold, and we'd get extra military spread, military tech rate spread, or we can lose opinion. Well, we can afford the 6 gold for some military tech. So yes, we do have the ability to attack down here. We've also got a claim up here as well, which we're not going to be taking just at the moment. What about you? Do you have any allies? You have the Earl of Somerset and a guy up here. Nobody that I need to really worry about. I think we should be okay in numbers. So let us go ahead and try this out. We are going to declare war on you because we have a de jure claim on Wiltshire. We would like to try and take that. We can call in our allies, but there's very little point in doing so because he's not going to be able to get to us. We are going to raise all of our levies up where we can. Who are we at war with? Yeah, we're not at war with the north there. That's fine. Just wanted to check that. So let us go ahead and rally everybody together in a safe spot. You guys should probably come round in this direction and not walk through the middle of enemy territory. Should have the numbers here to deal with this relatively easily. That sounds like somebody else has just died. Unmarried heir. Right, so now our daughter, it's actually the King of Francia who has just died. Died after a period of illness. There's a lot of people getting ill. So who is the current king or ruler of Francia these days then? That is you, King Pepin of West Francia. Are you already married? No. So how about I arrange a marriage between your good self and my daughter? Children born to the couple will not be of your dynasty. Yeah, I was already aware of that. But he would accept the marriage, so let's go ahead and do that. Now, I know she is my heir, but the game's still going to be fine. We haven't unmarried... No, she is getting married. That'll be fine. The game is unpaused, which is also fine. Let's get everybody moved into the right place. We should have the numbers. We should be okay. There we go. She has now married. Let's just speed the game up to speed 3. The troops do seem to move a lot slower in this than they do in EU4. Maybe it's just the speed that the game goes. We should have the bigger army here. Let everybody get together. We have somebody guarding all of the flanks. Call to arms from Pepin Carlin. We will accept. Does that put us at war with anybody else over here? No, it does not. That's fine. Bit concerned about the war you currently struggle with, and therefore decide I would send you a small gift. Nothing much, just so you can hire more soldiers. Oh, that's nice. He's actually given me 5 gold just to help out. How delightful of him. So, we're going to go down here. We don't really have anyone to worry about. You guys are all just sitting in Dorset. Now, we don't have as big an army as we'd like in terms of numbers. But we should certainly be able to do a fair bit of damage to them. And in fact, they've taken massive losses. So we will try and chase them down. We'll go and siege out Wiltshire as quick as we can because that is the war goal here. Might even... Yeah, we've completely stat wiped. We're already at 75% war score already. So, luckily, we didn't have to do an awful lot to achieve that. We have another marriage offer here. You want to marry the Prince of Bavaria to my courtier. I don't see any reason why not, so let's just go ahead and say yes, that's fine. The, oh, what have we got here? More levy reinforcements, fantastic. So, the Petty King of wherever, Wessex. Yeah, the Petty King of Wessex has managed to rally 75 men against my 1700. I don't think it's going to help him. Are there any more levies we can... Oh, we can get 5 extra men. Let's raise those 5 extra men. They might make the difference. So we're coming up to the 20-minute mark, but I will try and finish this war if possible just before we end the video, because it seems like a natural stopping point. So let us do our very best to get this. Yeah, we are involved in a war over here. Wow, France has become really, really fractured now. At war with quite a few people who we can't reach and they can't reach us. But yeah, it's become really, really fractured because the king died. I'm actually surprised that he got killed, that he just died of an illness and he wasn't assassinated. That's normally what happens. Still trying to fabricate that claim over here. Might take a little while before that happens. In fact, what is his fabrication chance? 6% yearly, which is next to nothing. I might bring him back and actually just try and declare my wars elsewhere. Who do we need to suck up with more than anything at the moment? You don't like us an awful lot, do you? For some reason. Why is that? Desires the duchy, upset by law change, female heir, zealous. Yeah, you're not a happy chappy. Well, what we will do, because you live here, we will take our Chancellor and we'll move him and we'll try and patch up some relationships with you. We've got a few claims that we can press, so we don't need to worry too much at the minute about fabricating claims everywhere else. And it's going to take forever to do so anyway. Not the cheapest or quickest thing to do. We've almost won this siege here. It should be due any time now. Still on 73% war score. Only got 85% war score for that. Take a little while to siege out the bishopric. We can go down here. We probably will. We'll just go and trample his armies a little bit more. And now that we've actually sieged out the war goal, we'll go over here and we'll try and siege out Wessex. We'll siege out the sort of capital province of the duchy. But that means that the war is going to be a little bit delayed. So I think this will probably be a good place to end the video. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying Crusader Kings 2. And I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.